Alright, so this is the third and probably last part of assembling the GU-37 beta. This one's just going to be for the barrel, and if I can get it, everything else here, so the handguard, the retainer, and the muzzle brake. So the first video, I actually forgot to mention this. There's a screw right there that I forgot to put in. It's an M4 by 30 screw, I believe. So to put that in, what you guys want to do is open this up, start screwing that in by hand until you can't anymore. Then you can close your barrel, and you can take your Allen key and you can put it, if I can find that, put it down into the screw and then tighten it. Then once it's tightened enough, you can put it in short ways and torque it down really till you can't anymore. Just make sure you don't strip the thread. And the receiver, this part here, I don't think this part needs it. That needs tapped for an M4 screw. But once you have that done, we are gonna put the set screws in here. So these are tapped for M5 threads. These two and these two. Actually, any barrel part that needs a set screw is for M5 set screws. So they need tapped to M5 threads. So we're just going to put these in here. These are M5 set screws, or M5 by 6mm set screws. They just need to go in each hole. Don't let them go down past like right there, or else you're not going to get your barrel in. So I'm gonna pause this until, actually I probably don't need to. While I'm doing this, I want to say that barrel is an M5, not M5, it's a 5/8 inch fence post. You can find them at Lowe's. Probably find them pretty much any home garden store, hardware store. And I'll show you real quick something you have to do to it. When you get it, there's a line somewhere in here. If I can find it right there, you need to sand that out. So this will probably come with a sanding tool, or you can do it with a file if the barrel is short enough. That one I could do with a file. But once you have those in, all four of these set screws, you're going to open this and take any casing you're using. These are printed ones. They have a 2.47mm rim. These ones have like a 3.1mm rim. Whichever one you're going to use, you're going to put in here. Make sure any other round that you use, if it changes, any printed one should be that length. But if it changes, you have to adjust this, or there might be an issue. Also, the barrel tapers. One side is bigger than the other. You want the smaller side, so the side that fits in the barrel sleeve better, to be in here. So this side rotates freely in here, where this one doesn't rotate too smooth. So you want the side that rotates really nice. You're also going to have to sand that down in there, because it's going to be too tight to put the barrel in at first, so that just rotates. You want to push against this so the casing is flat against here and the barrel's flat against the casing. Once you have that, you're going to take the screws and you're going to tighten them. Tighten it until it hits the barrel, and then go to the other side and tighten that one too until it hits the barrel. A little bit more, and then same thing here, a little bit more, and then back over here and a little bit more, and that should be good. Your barrel shouldn't pull out. And then these ones, you can do the same thing, or you can just tighten them until they're good. I'm gonna do that, and then gonna do this. You want to do it like that so that it's tightened evenly. If it isn't tightened evenly, you might have an issue with it not hitting center. Just torque them down good. And the barrel shouldn't come off at all anymore. It's gonna be tight on there. And those cups are gonna dig into the barrel. It won't pull out. Once you have that, you just take the handguard. There's a little slot right there, and there's a little post on the handguard. Slide your handguard over the barrel until it goes to there. And that's flush. You're probably going to need to sand that or file it until it fits. Just make sure before you put the barrel on that it fits. If you're doing a really short barrel, so like a pistol, you can take your retainer and put it on like that. And that gives you a really short barrel. I'm not going to do that with this, so we're going to put the handguard on. And then the retainer. The handguard does not have screws, just the retainer and the barrel. Same thing here. Put the set screws in. I'm actually going to pause it because I'm going to run out of time if I don't. Just do that with all four, and then tighten it the same way that we tightened this, except on these four. So this is the last screw. I'm just tightening that down. Once it's tightened, make sure it doesn't come off, the handguard doesn't come off, and we're good. Now, if you want to put a muzzle device on, like this muzzle brake or the flash hider, it should just slide over here. I will say my muzzle device is tight. You're probably gonna have the same issue. If you do, align it so it's good, and then push down. And that shouldn't come off like it is. It's on there tight. But just in case, we also have, gonna make sure it's on there good. It is. So once you're there, same thing as before. Set screws. This doesn't have to be perfect, but it should be centered. If you want it to, if you want to make sure it's not going to strike any round, you want to be centered. Now this, I'm going to be using M5x6, but this muzzle device in particular is designed for M5x5s. So these are going to stick out a little more, but it's not much of a big problem. So you're going to do that there, and over here. Getting short on time. Do this quick. Shouldn't have any centering issues after those are in. So it'll dig into the barrel. And this is the last one. Now, with that done, your upper is finished. That's the assembly. And to make sure it works, pull back on here. Shell's still in there. Should be able to pull that shell out. Especially if you cut this. I didn't cut it yet. If you cut it, it'll be a lot easier to take this out. Because I didn't, I have to push the shell out with something. But you see this, barrel's in there good, shell fits in there, shell comes out, exactly what you want.